I think I found another perfect use case for using WAGOs. WAGO sent me a whole bunch of their different lever nuts or lever connectors. There's multiple different sizes. There's like 5-port, there's 3-port, 2-port, there's direct inline, like a butt splice sort of. And I've started keeping a whole bin of these on my van. And I've been finding there's like very specific use cases that these things are so perfect for. And I found one that's kind of perfect. Now, this situation right in front of me, obviously the walls are open. This is just a demonstration. But if you imagine for a second that all of the walls are closed in with drywall, and you just took a GFCI out that was bad, and you open this thing up and you realize, oh crap, I can't pull it open anymore. What's going on? Oh, they cut the wires super short. Well, in this case, you can't really like twist joints. Like I can't get in there to actually cut these. There we go, a little bit. This is a code violation, but we run into it all of the time. So my first house was a 1968 house, and it was full of haggard craziness. None of the devices had grounds, or they took the grounds and they just joined them all together and smashed them in the back of the box, didn't put a connector on them, didn't put crimp sleeves, anything like that. They just didn't extend the grounds to any of the devices. So what I came across was something that we're probably all pretty familiar with. Ugh, I can't even get these in there to like strip them fully. It's so annoying. But this is a situation that I know every single one of us has come across. Somebody cut these too short. Now, if I'm gonna try to take and put a wire nut on any of these, obviously I'm gonna have to extend out my wire, right? Like I can't put that on this. That's crazy. So what I would need to do is extend out the wire. But trying to get in here to get all three of these blacks put together to make a joint and make a pigtail, it's just bananas. So one of the best use cases that I've found for these is to use these for this. In this one, I've got 2 wires, but I need to make a pigtail, right? So I'll just open this up, stick these 2 in here. I mean, it still sucks because the wires suck, not because of the connector. But boom, right there. Now all I have to do is take my other conductor, open that little lever up, stick this guy in there. Always want to look at the end too to make sure that they're all pushed in all the way. But boom, I've like completely removed that situation, and look how quick that was. What I really like about these lever nuts is they hold really strong. So like I can put a wire in here, stick that guy in place, and then pull. Like I'm trying so hard to yank that off, and I can't get it off. I'm not like fronting for the video either. These things hold really strong. Sometimes you'll notice when you throw these in a box that the levers come up a little bit. It's not releasing. This is just the play in the lever. Once you get to the back side of that, boom, that opens up and it's spring loaded. So they actually told me, WAGO told me, that the more that you pull on these, the harder they try to bite down. Another really cool thing is on the sides of these, there's a little strip gauge, so it actually shows you how much of the end of the conductor needs to be stripped off, so that you know that everything's gonna seat in and you don't have any extra conductors showing out of the side here. So let me do another one. And another one for the grounds. All right, then we just need to make our pigtails. Open that guy up, stick that in there. All right, bend this one, open that guy up. Done skis. So everything folds back in the back of the box. I still have plenty of, conductor. Now, some of you might say, well, just replace the wire, like pull in a brand new wire. But what if you're in a $8 million house with a 150-foot run across the other side of the house? There's a level 5 drywall finish, or there's plaster or something like that. You just can't always do that. Yeah, obviously, if you can, that's a good solution. But most of the time, realistically, when we're running into this problem, it's in a finished wall. There's staples all along through different level, you know, like you're not gonna replace that wire. Especially, you know, if you're in between two floors or something like that, like how are you going to replace that wire? So again, I think this is a good method. By the way, any of you guys, when you're wiring devices, this is my strategy. You can do whatever you want. Like your job as a professional is always to figure out your way of doing things and why you do them the way that you do. When you're an apprentice, you're just doing what you're told, right? But when you're a journeyman, after, you know, 5 years of you being a journeyman, or you start maybe thinking about mastery level, that's when you really start challenging the things that you do and start developing a little bit, honing your craft. So anyways, my point with that is, when I put things in there, there's a distinct way that I always do this, and I always push everything down to give me the most amount of slack. I push down one time, I accordion up enough so that it folds in the back of the box, and then I cut everything. That's just my way. I do everything so it's at a diagonal, so then anybody that looks through an entire room, they're like, oh, whoa, Dustin did those, because Dustin always does this weird diagonal thing. No, nobody else that I know that, you know, does that. And then it gives you enough when you pull it out that you've probably got about 8 inches, 9 inches outside of the box, so you have plenty for code. Now, what the National Electrical Code says in 300.14, if you're looking at the 2023 National Electrical Code, is that you have to have 6 inches from the sheath, from the inside of the box. So 6 inches of conductors sticking out. Some boxes are different, right? There's like different depths of boxes, there's different dimensions. So if any dimension's less than 8 inches in any dimension, the wires have to extend 3 inches out of the box at a minimum. So it might end up resulting in more than 6 inches, but it's 6 inches worth of wire from the sheath and at least 3 inches from the front of the box. Because a lot of this stuff, you can't fit your hand inside of a small box like that, right? So hope that helps some of you. Love you, crazy people. I'll see you in the next one.